Chris, and this is my TJ rear bumper restoration and matching spare video. So this Jeep came with SMITTYBILT XRC bumpers. I think you can get them for about $350 on the internet. And then when you're looking that bumper up, this will be the suggested part. It's the tire carrier, and I think it's about $220 or $250, something like that, but there's different prices on the internet. Then we have the factory spare, and we have no choice but to remove this tray because that's a 31-inch and my matching spare is 33, so it's too wide right here, so all that has to go. So this is a 2004 Wrangler. I'm not sure when these came out or when he bought these, but you look close, it's got a bunch of little chips. Everything's all kind of getting ugly, so we need to take these off and clean them up and make all this stuff look good again. So on these bumpers, the thing that really bothers me is these little hooks that come out, and I know they're there to protect the body, but they look weird to me. I don't like it. Looks like a fang or something. So we're going to modify these bumpers. They have a line right there. We're going to cut straight down. We're going to cut these corners off. Well, that's kind of an idea where I'm going to cut. I'm pretty sure that with that removed, bumpers are going to look real good. Okay, and this aluminum handle needs to be black for sure. Alright, so in this video I'm going to go ahead and take everything off and fix everything up, and then we're going to act like we're installing it brand new for the first time. We're not going to go super in depth with everything, but pretty much give you an idea how that bumper goes on there, how that swing arm goes on, and how to mount your spare. Alright, so we've got the bumper off, and the first thing I'm going to do is cut these corners off. So that board is clamped to the mounting surface, so that line right there is where we're going to cut. We're going to try to cut as straight as possible. Okay, so I left a little bit on there. We're going to try to round that corner off just a little bit, but you see it's just flush. Looks so much better in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove these. Sorry guys, you make a great product, no offense. So this one's actually important that it does stay on here for the next person that gets the Jeep. Alright, so a little update on the bumpers. It's been about 5 hours in this job so far. That's disassembly. Everything is coming back down to piece by piece to get individually painted. So I'm gonna wire brush or lightly sandblast that one piece right there, make it black again. I don't know what this stuff is on here, if this is powder coated, but this texture finish right here, I absolutely just hate the way this looks. I don't like it. It looks really cheap to me. So I want the bumpers to be a semi-gloss black. We're gonna be restoring all this next. So that powder coat stuff or whatever it is actually comes off with this. So I just grind it down and get most of it off, and then come back with a sandblaster and hit all these little areas. And once they get stripped, they get primed and painted semi-gloss black. So you can see all the parts and see the sand that blew in my paint job. When you sandblast, unless you have a big industrial sandblaster, you're going to do it in sections. See, we like done one corner, then we did the middle, then the other corner, and now we got this last section on top. You do it in sections because within minutes this stuff can start flash rusting depending on the humidity. So we're literally taking this coating off of every single part, but all I'm using to remove it is that, and in tough to reach areas you get you some aircraft remover. I had to do all that area in the hitch with this. It'll soften it up or you can scrape it off. Okay, so I'm going to grind some of this off. We're going to do a little sandblasting and then put it in the primer so you can see how I do it. The first thing I'm doing is grind this coating off. See how it starts to come off like that? And then once the coating's off, it's going to leave like this black. I don't know if this is powder coat 2 or epoxy primer or whatever it is. It's really good and it's embedded down in there, and we don't need to entirely remove every bit of black on there. So then all I do is I take the sand like this and just knock it down as smooth as I can, and then instantly prime it. That's what I've done to the whole bumper, and that's what we're about to do to this last little piece right here. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with this paint. If you clean the metal and spray primer on bare steel like this, it will embed itself better than a powder coat and better than freaking epoxy primer, or just as good. I did a little spray test right here to see if that primer was going to react with the black primer, and you can see I can't even get this stuff off. So as far as the sandblaster I use, this is the $29 one at Northern Tool. I've been buying these for many years. I use play sand right there. That stuff is about $3 or $4 a bag. This project is taking about 4 bags. Put it in a little thing like that, I spray it. with a freaking regular compressor, just like I've been doing for over 20 years. I don't use any fancy sandblaster. And the truth is, I never will use a fancy sandblaster, because when you get into higher PSI, that's whenever you actually will warp the steel on the top of the hoods and trunk. So we remove as much material as we can, and I just use my sandblaster to go in there and get really detailed areas ready for paint. I don't go straight to sandblasting parts like that. Sometimes you can, but that is not what I do. Grind it off, paint remove it, whatever, and then we're going to get this into the fine little areas so that our paint job adheres 100% and lasts a long time. Always shake this paint up for like 5 minutes and try to get it warmed up to about 80 degrees. It's freaking December 28th right now, and it's like freaking 80 degrees in Houston, Texas. It's hot, so I don't even have to do anything to this paint. Okay, and you see the SMITTYBILT bumpers. I mean, maybe that's why they coat it with that freaking textured crap to cover all that up, but I'm gonna leave it. That doesn't bother me that much. So you see how we did that? We lightly sandblasted that, and then we instantly coated with primer. You do not expose these parts to moisture. I've seen some videos of people washing this stuff with freaking soap and water before you spray it. That is absolutely not what you want to do. Never in a million years would I ever do that. Now this is a rough primer. We can block it, sand it. We can even sandblast it and touch it up in certain places. So anytime you modify something, you got to put it back on the vehicle and look at it and make sure you're satisfied. Okay, that was the freaking look that I'm going for, and it passes the test 100%. I freaking love it. It looks so much better like that. And you see why I stripped that finish off of it, because that textured finish on there, and I know why they do it, so they can cover up all that little stuff. I don't care about that. That texture finish looks cheap and it looks nasty. The freaking bumper looks better in primer than it did with the freaking finish on it. So whenever you paint like this, you want to have a certain thickness of paint on there. You can't just miss this paint on there. You're just dusting color on there. You're not going to have any durability. The paint will start to rub off just when you wash the car. You see how we got the back sprayed? We're going to go ahead and use the rest of this can up for our first coat. Okay, so whenever you're spraying, try to go through the whole little panel like that. Don't stop in the middle, all the way down. Do not stop in the middle and go back. You could screw it up. It is not ideal to rattle can bumpers, but if you use a satin, you can get away with it. See, and I don't know why they don't just sell the bumpers painted like that. That looks so much better than that nasty textured stuff, in my opinion. So I'm going to let this thing dry, and we'll look at putting the final coat on it. So the first coat on there went on there pretty even, but the way it dried, it looks all screwed up. That's why you have to put 2 coats. And the way we're going to fix this is we got to sand it down. Now this is not no crazy sanding. We're just going to take 400, dry like this on a block, preferably a foam block, and then we're just going to hit the flat panels. We're not trying to make everything look perfect. So Rust-Oleum can get gummy on the paper, so you got to constantly check it. Okay, then the Scotch-Brite to go all up in here and just kind of even it off. So we got it all sanded and scuffed and ready for the final paint job. Now if this thing does not turn out right, I am going to have to spray it with a regular gun. It is not ideal to spray bumpers with a rattle can, but we're going to try to make it work. Alright, so this paint job, I got a little run in it somewhere right there, okay? And I got some little runs right there. Now, we're going to go ahead and put this in another coat. That's fine, it's not the end of the world, but I'm going to call out Rust-Oleum right now. Okay, so ever since I started my YouTube channel, I've always bragged about Rust-Oleum paint. Now, this is a Rust-Oleum that I've been using. I even have it in the quart so I can spray it with my real spray gun. So I've been looking for this for about a month, and they quit selling it. And now they sell it with this one, and this is supposed to be the replacement. This is not that. This is trash. This is why so many people hate spraying with Rust-Oleum, because you get runs and you get streaks in the paint. This was some kind of magic formula, and I don't know why they quit using it, but as of now, I'm no longer using Rust-Oleum products. So after that horrible paint job with this trash right here that I'll never buy for the rest of my life, I had a last minute idea. Had this can on the shelf. There's also some stuff that I used to buy a long time ago, and I've had this on this shelf since my first YouTube videos because I know this works. See a pattern there? That's good. This is good. So I went ahead and recoated them, and now they look beautiful. Stuff looks brand new. So of course this project's been taking a couple days. Did we make an improvement, and was it worth it? What do you think? This stuff looks brand new thanks to this stuff right here. Freaking nice. I'm very, very excited to put this on the Jeep, and it's the exact color that I wanted. So you see it does have a little bit of texture to it, and you can make the texture thicker, but I just kind of held the can, I don't know, about 6 to 8 inches away to give it that look right there. Passes the test 100%. Alright, so I just masked it off and lightly sandblasted it. Just gave it a little quick paint job. I didn't have any flat black, so I used gloss. Hopefully it'll fade a little bit. So to install the bumper, I got a transmission jack with just a shirt over it like that. And the cool thing about this bumper is it'll sit right on that trailer hitch part without any problems. Yeah, so I just got to figure out how to route my little backup camera. And you see, using that transmission jack, I'm not in a strain or anything. So the swing arm is installed. Alright, so this is half of the diameter of the wheel and tire. So, right there. I was just making sure you don't see it on the backup camera, so I'm going to put it right there. Alright, so with the spare real heavy, we're going to try to grease it in the end, but now that we have the weight on it, we can put the latch on it. I mean, it just looks way better with all this black on it. I should have bedlined that handle, but it'll be fine. Not even hard. Nice. So anybody that's been watching the Jeep videos, what do you think about that? Is this an improvement over that rack, or did that rack look better? You know, I actually kind of like the way that rack looked and everything, and it was very functional, but the problem was the weight of it. That freaking swing arm was just way too heavy, even for me. And I'm not lying, every time I would try to close it, it just weighed so much that I would have to pick it up right here, and it had to freaking go. So it does look a little plain after I took all that stuff off, but the truth is the Jeep is getting the top off. I got the half doors, and with it like that, it's gonna look so freaking good, and you can't have all them shelves if you're gonna run it like a convertible. Okay, so this project right here is actually the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It took way longer than I thought. I screwed the paint job up, but it came out so beautiful. It looks better than it ever did brand new. And of course, all that stuff, everything came out beautiful. It is exactly the finish I wanted, and it covered up all the little imperfections. So you can see that since it's all clean, the little camera blends in, you don't notice it. Got the factory sticker. But one of the things that makes this look so much better is that little badge is gone on there. And it also had a badge right there. If you make good products, you don't need to put your name all over them. People are going to see it, and people are going to want it. And this bumper, in my opinion, is the best looking overall bumper, I believe, that you can buy for a TJ. We're going to close it with one hand. Crazy. But what really changed this bumper and made me love it was cutting those corners off. That looks so much better now. And you see it doesn't expose too much in here. We did have to paint all those brackets, and I cleaned up the factory bumper part, but looks fine. So y'all let me know if you think that was an improvement, or did I screw them up? To me, they don't even look like the same bumpers anymore. So as soon as I stop recording, I'm going to pull all this off, and I'm going to start restoring this one. This video is going to be a little bit more cooler because we're going to go through the winch. Okay, and I'm also going to show touching up that frame, get rid of all that gray primer. I already have a video where I restored these, so that's the only thing that I don't have to mess with. But that was a problem with the back bumpers. They look good from 10 feet away, but you get up close on them and you see all this freaking stuff that needs to be cleaned up. Cut the back bumper because I kind of wanted it to match the front the best it can. All right, well, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.